Hello, I'm glad you're here. In this video, we're going to evaluate this equation when given values for the variables E, F, and G. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write this equation, but every time I see a variable, which is a letter, because it can vary, we don't know what value it's going to be, I'm going to just put an open set of parentheses. And then, just to help prevent myself from making any minor errors, I'm going to go ahead and put the letter or the variable underneath each one, so I'm sure to put in the right value. So the E had a -1 value, the F had a -2 value, and the G had a -3 value. And we have to remember the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which is parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract, right? But in this situation, our exponents and our parentheses are tied in together. So basically, that's the part that's going to need to be done first for each section. So a -1 to the 4th power, I'm going to come over here and do that for you. -1 times -1 times -1 times -1. When you multiply two negatives together, you get a positive. When you multiply a positive and a negative together, you get a negative. When you multiply two positives together, you get, when you multiply two negatives together, you're going to get a positive again. So basically, when a negative number is raised to an even power, you're going to end up with a positive number. So you have 2 times the number 1, which is going to give us a 2. Okay? And then we have a -2 to the 3rd power. This will be a positive 4, and this will be a -8. So we have 2 times a -8, which is going to give us plus a -16. And if you think about that, we learned that when a negative number is raised to an odd power, a 3 is an odd number, we ended up with a negative answer, okay? And then lastly, we have -3 times -3, which is going to give us a positive 9. And so we have a -2 times a positive 9, which is going to give us a -18. Okay? -16 and a -18 is a -34, and 2 plus a -34 is a -32. So our answer is a -32. But now I want to show you what could happen if you let the calculator do all the work for you. So hang tight. Okay, so in order for our calculator to do all the work for us, first I have to tell you that the calculator only has certain letters, and it doesn't have the E, the F, or the G. So if I name or rename the E, the F, and the G X, Y, and Z, as long as I also name them X, Y, and Z over here for the values, it's going to work out the same for me. So now I can tell the calculator the values, or store it in the calculator for X, Y, and Z. So I come here and I tell my calculator that -1 store, and I press X and enter, and the calculator is going to hold on to that value for me. And then -2 store, and I have to go until I get the Y and enter, and then -3 store, and I'm going to go get the Z and enter. Then I have to use my problem, 2x to the 4th power, 2x to the 4th power, and then I can't stay up high, so I use this arrow to scoot over, and then the problem says plus 2, and we're using y to the 3rd power, And I can't stay at pi, so I have to scoot over. And then lastly, take away 2z to the second power. Press enter, and it's going to solve it for me, and we get the same answer. So that's just important for you to know. If you can use the calculator, you want to understand how to use the calculator. It'll be a valuable asset. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.